Let's speak now to the Director of Governmental Studies at the Bipartisan Policy Center, author of Absentee and Early Voting, a book about that, Mr. John Fortier. Mr. Fortier, your book very much a theme of this year's election. We're seeing unprecedented early voting, and it looks like to a large extent it will all come down to those votes.
Yes, I mean, we've seen in America a trend towards lots more voting by mail that's been happening over the last 30 years. But all of a sudden, this election, because of coronavirus, we've seen a big jump up. Maybe almost 45% of our votes will be cast that way, and our turnout is likely to be record overall. Also the case that those votes are being cast much more by Democrats. That was not true in the past. We've become polarized even about the way we want to vote. So as we sit here, not knowing what's going to happen, being a closer race than some thought it was, that the counting really does matter. We're probably not going to get answers out of some of the key Midwestern states like Pennsylvania and Michigan. We may have a very close race in Georgia. And so we're going to wait. It probably will be in the next day or two that enough of the vote comes in to really be able to say who the winner is, unless we're very, very close. We're going to recount. But really, the mail ballots have made a significant change in the way we think about this election.
Indeed, and having to be patient there for those results. But we have heard from incumbent President Donald Trump repeatedly. He's questioning the validity of mail-in votes, saying that they are open to fraud. Is there any reason to believe such?
Well, I don't think there's wide-scale fraud with respect to any part of the voting system, even mail voting. But there are some controversies, some back and forth between the parties, some lawsuits that have gone on as to whether we extend the time for ballots or not. Most of them have been resolved, but there are some that are out there. And to the extent we end up in close races, we're going to be questioning some of these results. Will these particular ballots count because they've missed the deadline? Will these other ballots count because they aren't quite filled out right? And if we really are in a recount situation with all of these mail ballots, there's going to be plenty to argue about.
Could you see Donald Trump taking legal action against this vote? I mean, could we potentially see this dragging on for quite some time, for weeks?
Well, again, I think we'll see in the next day or two the bulk of the counting get done, even in these states that are taking longer.
Mr. Fortier, I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to cut you off there because we